and welcome to News Now. I'm your host, Taylor Inman. We're going over the week's biggest headlines for Northwest Montana. The Flathead County Sheriff's Office is investigating an alleged homicide that occurred at a residence near the 100 block of Main Street in Hungry Horse on Saturday night. 25-year-old Dylan Austin Olson of Hungry Horse apparently had a confrontation with 30-year-old David Bollman and allegedly shot Bollman with a shotgun, according to Flathead County Sheriff Brian Haino. Bollman was treated by emergency personnel but died at the scene. He was a Flathead County resident with addresses in Columbia Falls and Lakeside. The incident remains under investigation. Olson is being held in the Flathead County Detention Center on a pending deliberate homicide charge. Anyone with information related to this incident is encouraged to contact the Flathead County Sheriff's Office at 406-756-5600 or at tips@flatheadcounty.gov. A Troy man drowned over the weekend while ice fishing on Spar Lake in northwest Montana, according to authorities. Family members reported 63-year-old Keith Mack missing on Sunday, according to a media release from the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. The family said he left on Saturday morning to go ice fishing on the remote lake southwest of Libby near the Idaho border and did not return home as expected. Family members began searching for Mack on Saturday night and found a snowmobile at the Spar Lake campground. After a failed initial search, the family called 911, and David Thompson search and rescue personnel and Sheriff's Office deputies responded to the area. Mack's fishing gear was located near a hole in the ice on Spar Lake. Based on the circumstances, Flathead County Search and Rescue dive team responded. Mack was recovered from the water on Monday morning. A Kalispell woman was sentenced in Whitefish Municipal Court last month for throwing a piece of plywood in front of a U.S. Border Patrol vehicle during a protest outside the Whitefish U.S. Customs and Border Patrol office on September 15, 2025. Danielle E. Toohey was found guilty on misdemeanor charges of public nuisance and obstructing a peace officer or other public servant. 2 other charges were dismissed. Toohey initially pleaded not guilty to all 4 charges in October, but later pleaded guilty to 2. Under the plea deal, Toohey was fined $1,085 and received a 6-month suspended sentence. Demonstrators were staging a round-the-clock protest, which began on September 14th, following the detainment of Luisa Torres and her 17-year-old daughter, Fergie Diaz, when the incident occurred. According to court documents, approximately 10 to 12 people were involved when Whitefish police officers responded to the station at 11:16 p.m. on September 15th. In a surveillance video posted to the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol Spokane Sector's Facebook page, Toohey can be seen on the night of September 15th, standing in the path of a Border Patrol vehicle on US 93 holding a body-length size of plywood. Toohey releases the plywood toward the hood of the truck and steps out of its path. Videos were also posted to Flathead Democracy's Facebook page. 3 other protesters, Lynette Galaz, Colton Little, and Aggie Putnam, were also sentenced earlier this month for similar charges related to the protest. The protesters believe the Border Patrol vehicles were transferring the mother and daughter to an ICE facility, and thus, according to Galaz, they, quote, knowingly blocked a Border Patrol vehicle in an act of civil disobedience. We did so to bring attention and awareness to the detainment and eventual detention of a mother and her child, end quote. Little said after his sentencing on February 18th that he was, quote, willing to accept the consequences because it is morally right, and cited his concerns with the potential for human rights violation in detention centers. Conservationists are debating how to spend an estimated $37 million influx of funding for habitat improvement projects ahead of the 2027 state legislature. Lawmakers passed a bill in 2025 that directs 20% of the state's recreational marijuana tax into the newly created Habitat Legacy account. Another 12% is tagged for existing funds that benefit parks, trails, and non-game wildlife. Representative Becky Edwards, a Democrat from Bozeman, spoke at a February 26 event in Kalispell discussing the funds. She said the funding is a big win for Montana as the recreational cannabis revenue is directed into parks, trails, working lands, wildlife crossings, and corridors to the tune of $37 million every other year. Edwards sponsored the legislation to direct marijuana tax revenue to conservation efforts, along with Representative Kim Walsh, a Republican from Twin Bridges, and Senator Denley Lodge, a Republican from St. Regis. While the measure proved successful in 2025, she expressed reservations about the longevity of the funding stream, especially as the state is expected to be in a $200 million deficit at the onset of the next legislative session. She said, quote, these funds already have eyes on them, so the only way that we can protect these funds is by having projects ready to go. The first chunk of money is expected to become available to Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks on July 1st of this year. The agency is hammering out guidelines for a competitive grant program to disperse the funds to partnering organizations. Applications are expected to open in April or May. Organizations can use the grant funds for projects that improve or protect both terrestrial and aquatic wildlife habitat, conserve working lands, and promote outdoor recreational access. Attendees at the February 26 event pointed to conservation easements as one way the money could be used in the Flathead Valley. Landowners that opt into a conservation easement agree to limit development and parcelization of their lands, either for a set period of time or in perpetuity. The agreement is legally binding and typically includes a stipulation that restrictions apply to any subsequent owners. In northwest Montana, conservation easements have become a common tool to beat back the suburbanization that has accompanied the region's rapid population growth. Between 2000 and 2021, more than 49,000 acres were converted from open space to housing in Flathead County alone, according to a report from Headwaters Economics. Amber Steed, regional supervisor for Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, said financial incentives are necessary for many private landowners to opt into a conservation easement, and suggested that some of the newly available funds could be used for that purpose. Other attendees highlighted the need for wildlife crossings on major roadways, including Montana 83 in the Swan Valley, and stream restoration projects that help keep water on the landscape during the dry summer months. Noah Marion, the state policy director for Wild Montana, said other types of projects that might qualify would be anything to improve range health for livestock producers, soil health, and drought resiliency. He said the priority is to showcase the benefits of continuing to fund conservation efforts. A Columbia Falls firm with a facility in Libby recently announced its merger with an international defense firm. Nomad Global Communication Solutions, Inc. is merging with Texas-based Kratos Defense Security Solutions, Inc. According to a press release, the merger marks the next chapter in Nomad's growth, building on the Montana-based company's 23 years of service to defense, federal, state, local, and commercial customers. Nomad GCS will continue operations at its Montana and Alabama locations, maintaining the same customer focus, teams, and leadership. The release said joining forces with Kratos strengthens the company's ability to support customers by combining Nomad's expertise and deep understanding of complex mobile operation missions with Kratos' scale and long-term backing. Nomad GCS Senior Vice President Will Schmaut said that Nomad has built its reputation on reliability under pressure and delivering when it matters most, adding that this merger allows them to remain true to who they are while giving their customers added confidence through long-term scale, stability, and support. Kratos views Nomad GCS as a strong operational fit with an established reputation for performance and technical rigor in mission-critical environments, according to the release. Kratos President and CEO Eric DeMarco said that Nomad brings a highly respected brand, differentiated capabilities, and a proven track record in mission-critical environments. Nomad GCS will maintain its Montana and Alabama footprints and continue investing in its people, facilities, and quality assurance programs, according to company officials. Nomad is a United States-based designer and manufacturer of connected mobile operation centers and software-enabled mobile command and control solutions. Since 2002, Nomad has supported defense, federal, state, local, and commercial customers operating in complex and high-consequence environments, according to the release. They're headquartered in Montana with operations in multiple U.S. locations. Nomad came to Libby in early 2023 and set up shop in the old Stinger Welding Building. It runs 2 production lines in Libby, one focused on van-based operation centers, the other on military-spec shipping container-based solutions. In August of 2025, Nomad said it had reached about 400 employees. About 60 work at the Libby facility. Thanks for joining us. News Now is a podcast from the Daily Interlake. We're proud to be the largest independent newsroom in Montana and the longest continuously published newspaper in the region. Today's stories are written by Hungry Horse News editor Chris Peterson, Whitefish Pilot editor Kelsey Evans, Daily Interlake reporter Haley Smalley, and the team at the Western News. You can read these full versions at dailyinterlake.com, and if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode of the pod. Everybody stay safe and have a great week. Thanks to our sponsor, Lauren's Auto Repair at 1309 U.S. Highway 2 in Kalispell. Most consistently rated 5-star shop serving the Kalispell area. Visit lawrensauto.com.